I don't see anybody here for that.
They're
either.
not here for that either.
That's something we could use information on.
They
Yes.
saw insurance was ahead of them, they said.
We, just to bring forward the reason that I asked them to come is because we have heard, Scuttle, that the solar is going to be a little less in size than what we had been first told. And we knew that going into it, that it was going to be smaller, but we have heard that the solar panels have gotten, technology has gotten so good that they can do more with less. How's that sound? So we were hoping they'd come in and speak to exactly where they were going to go, because when Chase and I talked to them last week, they gave us a map from 2023.
That
Which
really
was
didn't
not
show
helpful.
the project, it showed snowmobile routes.
Right. So that is why I requested them to be here, but they must have forgot or something came up. So we'll table that. Moving on, sign ordinance amendment adoption. Okay, which one is this? This is the sign ordinance.
The creative sign, I think.
Section 3, general requirements for signs.
Oh, yes. So the plan commission, do you want to speak to this, Josh?
Oh, you're doing fine.
The plan commission requested that the town board should entertain the notion that signage for businesses should be able to be a little more creative due to some signs that were coming out that are creative, more than the square or the diagonal or, yeah. So this would give verbiage to the sign ordinance, and exactly what it says is Saratoga Town Board, County of Wood, do hereby ordain and amend the sign ordinance as follows. In section 3, general requirements for signs. 3.7, creative sign designs for on-premise signs which do not conform to the town's sign ordinance criteria may be presented to the plan commission for consideration and approval by the town board. This amendment to the sign ordinance shall be effective upon passage by the town board of Saratoga and upon publication provided by law. And then it's dated and signed by all of us.
So I think the wording looks good, and I think this is kind of a no-brainer.
Is there any discussion?
Adopt.
It was brought from the plan commission.
May be presented to the plan commission for consideration and then approval by the town board, or just and approval?
We would, as a plan commission, we would consider recommending it to the town board.
Consideration and recommended approval by.
So you
Well,
want different verbiage in there?
Yeah,
It
the
just
word-
says for plan commission or commission for consideration and approval by the town board.
But consideration and recommend approval by.
Recommend, well,
And recommend in there.
Either way, the town board has to approve it, so I
Right.
didn't see any issue with the way it was worded, but if you wanted to add a word, you could.
possible approval by town board? I don't want to say recommended for
Right.
approval because
Yeah.
that's saying it's going to be approved.
Potential, possible, potential.
Okay.
So,
Possible?
sure.
And potential. I like potential. Okay,
That was a
and
good
then I'll bring it back to the next meeting for signatures. How's that sound? If it passes.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 7/15/2024
With the change.
with
With
the
the
change of adding.
So it will read creative sign designs for on-premise signs which does not conform to the town side ordinance criteria may be presented to the plan commission for consideration and potential approval by the town board.
For me, I'd second that.
Okay, I have a motion by Faith and a second by Carl. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Let me make myself a little note to bring back. I'll bring it back to the next meeting with new language for your signatures, please. All right. Going forward, I wanted that insurance in and out. I'm sorry, guys.
And never was gonna lead you that way.
Okay, the next request for a 501c3, the 3 and the C are inadvertently transcribed here, to advertise on the town's electric sign. Okay, this is another motion or another potential
It was a recommendation.
a
by the-
recommendation. Thank you very much.
Recommendation by the planning commission to, a recommendation to us as a town board for the approval of, registered 501c3 entities using our LED sign out front for, advertisement of events, in the area.
For nonprofit.
Right.
Non-profit. 501c3 is.
And
Jenny,
at the plan commission, it was brought in by Wakely. And there was a motion made and it was to have Wakely be allowed to utilize the sign, but then it was revised to have all 501c3s. So I did my due diligence and I called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 municipalities around us, and one of them didn't have a sign. And the ones that did have electronic sign, there was only one, which turns out to be Pittsville, where the verbiage came from, that allowed outside entities to utilize the sign. Vesper did, but only for a nonprofit, not for any other type of advertising. But I did talk to Pittsville and I did talk to a couple of the entities, and they said they didn't open it up to 501s because they didn't help pay for the sign. It was the citizens who paid for it. And that if they open it up to 501s, then they want to charge them. And so then their board said no. But on the chance that you guys would entertain it, I think I did write something up here.
You did it, Staples.
Okay, so I did write up a sign policy. And it would be just to include the 501 and not to include anyone else. And it would be at a rate of $5 a day or 20 a week. It would start, the other thing I wanted to mention, when I did contact these people, the people who took care of the sign were the Public Works, not the clerk. Just saying that. So there would be a rate if you so choose. So this is the policy. So this is a generic policy and you guys can do what you want with it. But I kind of took it off from Pittsville's policy.
Has this been run by our legal advisor yet?
No, I have to get your advice before I run anything by legal.
May I make it something too? I
Sure.
mean, to say one screen versus, they could post something that's gonna read for an hour.
Well, I think we need to put a limit to the number of,
Character.
well, not just characters, but if, I mean,
It needs to fit on
you
one
don't want
screen.
things to flash on there for an hour because people are only passing by it for a minute.
Exactly.
So I think we need to limit, that sign is only gonna have a total of 5 pages up at a time.
Because when we
And if
post,
it's-
when we have to post something, we do our best to make it on whatever announcement we want to make is on one screen.
Yep.
Not read part of it and then it's gonna come on the next screen. So I personally, my thoughts to clarify things for people is whatever they want needs to be fit on the one screen. So if they have an artwork on there, that's gonna take away some of
Well,
their,
I think they've got
This is
text only.
okay, text only. So, and characters, you can't, I don't wanna, unless we knew exactly what font size you could still read, it's, which I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe make it somewhere that they only get one screen.
Well, the way that, I brought Paulette in on this because she's the one who does all the sign stuff. And it's gonna be a mess for a while. And that's what the guy in Pittsville said too. It took him about a year. Isn't that what he said? A
It
year?
took a while.
Yeah, and he said, you gotta realize that you're paying a town person to do this work. And that town person, gets usually $25-30 an hour, but, he said at first, he said right now it takes him about, what'd he say, 2 hours a month just to keep up with the towns,
Mhm.
with the village stuff. And then when he gets, pieces in from, some other entity, then he says it depends on what it is to how much time it takes. But he said he said his clerk didn't want to do it. He said she wasn't proficient enough to do it. And he said, so it came on my shoulders. I didn't want to do it either. He said he's doing it, but
Are you gonna put a limit on how many announcements can be on the sign at one time?
I think we need
I
that.
think we should.
You two are in here most messing with it. What do you think is a reasonable number? Is it 5, 8?
She's queen of the sign. I've only done it a few times.
I mean, I don't think we want to overwhelm it too much. I think 8 might be too many.
well, we did look at you didn't enclose
Would you?
that sign up sheet, did you?
I did not.
Okay,
No.
so I made a sign up sheet that would be helpful because it only allows for 3 to 4 lines. And then she will tell them, you can have like a 10 font or 12-point font. And what, it can only be like times,
But that you don't know till you get in there and
Right.
actually
Yeah.
And that's-
do that and look at it and see the
Yes.
pre. I mean, there's a lot more time. I mean, everyone thinks it's just easy. Oh, quick, just put this up there. But there's a lot more time that can be involved in it, and there's a lot more fancy capabilities that I just quite honestly don't have the time to do. You know,
and we would have to set up a separate email account too. And that's what this guy said, at Pittsville. He said, have a separate email account so it doesn't corrupt anything. And so we would have to go through our IT guy to make sure we can even put that on there. On our computers, we might have to just bring it into that one computer that the sign is on. So there's a little more to this than what meets the eye, but it's up to you guys. It came from the plan commission,
How
so
about a setup charge?
we have to entertain it. Well, we do have the rates at $5 a day or $20 a week.
But maybe have a setup charge.
Well, when they email it over, it should come over as what's gonna go on the sign. Well, they also have to come in, they have to come in and pay for it in advance.
well,
So
like
that would,
The one thing you could do is you
that
could
is where
have,
she can answer questions. And she'd look at it 1 day a week
you know.
on a
So-
Thursday.
when you're looking like a form to fill out,
She has a form. Paulette, you wanna go get that form?
Where I put it.
Um,
It was very basic though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if we know how many,
Yeah, but we don't because it depends on the font size.
So what font size is up there right now? Do you have any idea?
I have no clue.
Okay.
Because I,
She
Type the
makes it
message,
bigger or smaller.
and if you
depends on-
pick a different font, and if you shadow it, and if you, depending upon what your message is, like, I think there's the one out there that says that the garbage and recycling maps are online, because we were getting a lot of calls about, hey, where's my, can we get a garbage map, blah, blah, blah. But when you try to put that on there, it's like, how do you how do you write that so it makes sense to somebody driving by when they see that real close? But yet, is it big enough for them to read? Because you don't want it tiny. So
I-
it takes a little bit of
I
trial and
wanted to
error
limit
as
it to black on white or white on black. That's it. I don't want it to get like, I want orange on green because it's,
My
No.
colors.
yeah, well, or that is Easter, but you can't read it. So if we keep it generic, I mean, maybe in the future we can change it and give a little leeway, but right now we're learning too, so.
Well, that's just it. I don't think that we need to, like, on our form or whatever these 501s want to submit. Just tell us what you want on there and we're gonna do it how we want it on.
it would have
Whether
to
it's
be to
black
the
and
best
white,
of the ability,
or
because-
if you've got a little bit more time that day, you wanna throw some green in the background, whatever,
Right.
And
But-
because it's coming from an outside source, like you said, you
Yeah.
don't want their jump drive, you don't want
No.
an email from them
Is that
either.
even,
What we'll need an email just to get it started, just so that we'll notify her that I'm gonna be coming in to do a sign. And then once they come in, it's, $5 or $20 for a day or week. That way we don't have 10 people coming in the door saying, I was here first, I was here first. This way, it's all done by email, whoever got the email in first, and we're gonna limit it to That's just how it's gonna have to be.
Well,
We gotta have some kind of
what do we want for
direction.
number of messages? I think that's a good place to start off.
There's currently 4 messages.
There's I've been looking at the sign. There's currently 4 messages, but one of the messages is double the length or time as the other ones. So there's like a spot on there for 5.
You have them. Okay.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
at that point,
And
I don't
mean,
think we're gonna get an influx
How
of
much?
emails.
no, but I think we need to be prepared to be able to. So
And
I'm thinking
realize-
maximum of 6.
On top of what our.
No, including ours. Ours will take priority, maximum of 6 messages total.
Oh, it depends on how long you leave them showing as
Right.
how many we can put on there.
I wouldn't even get that far into it. I would just put a maximum of,
Well,
Like,
Say 6.
whatever.
What do they have
does
to
that sound
report about right now?
reasonable?
15,
welcome to
6?
Saratoga, dog licensing. Must be the
Meetings,
The
Must be
garbage
the
map.
garbage map because I can't read that.
Yeah,
And
see,
then
that was
our
a little
next
bit
meeting.
smaller. See, you need.
you put the
And then
garbage
in
map on there?
I
put
thought
that
that it's
in
online,
taxes
Oh,
in
because
the-
we were getting a lot of phone calls, and I thought.
Yeah,
Well, I just-
people knew
There's
it
a
was out
picture
there,
of a
but
dog,
they-
so that's why.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we also should limit the people that are gonna be on there as far as within the zip codes. So we don't get somebody from who knows where.
Town of Saratoga only.
Well,
Town of Saratoga 501. Yeah, because we already have churches and then the organization.
yeah.
And now we have to have proof that that's a 501 too. Just walking the door saying we are
yeah,
isn't gonna cut it.
that's where that email would come in.
Well,
Yep.
there's a form that they have to fill out.
Yeah, I
So,
think we should limit to who can actually use it to, not all 501.
okay, how are you gonna do that one? Because churches and. Yeah.
501c3s with events happen within the town of Saratoga.
The event has to be in Saratoga.
That being said,
Okay.
say
So-
Pumpkin
Wait,
Festival wants to
wait.
put something in, is that, are we gonna? put
Before you
something
write that down, if the Boy Scout troop of Nakusa wants to put something on that sign, do we not allow it? Because we don't have a Boy Scout troop in Saratoga, do we?
Roger,
Ask Roger.
you're involved in this, and then.
Sure I am. I live in Saratoga, and I represent the Boy Scout troop in Nakusa. We do roadside cleanup in Saratoga, and other service work, so. it's up
Well,
to
that's what I
people.
mean,
Right.
that Boy Scout troop 174 is based out in Nakusa.
But say they're doing a fundraiser at the Piggly Wiggly. That's not in our town. They do cleanup in our town.
That's what
See,
I'm
I don't
saying,
think we
zip
can-
codes.
I don't think we can limit it to South Saratoga.
Town of Saratoga,
Or bordering communities.
where it's happening though?
How about town of Saratoga or bordering communities?
Well, what about events happening in Saratoga?
Okay, so let's go to a brat fry in Nakusa. Pack 174 is putting brat fry on it, Piggly Wiggly in Nakusa.
Then go to Nakusa and ask for them to advertise on their sign.
No, it's still
Are we gonna-
supporting something.
What about
that-
the Lions Club? What about, I mean, there's gonna be like people in Rapids, like knocking down our door.
Well, if you don't want to make it complicated, then just
Right.
keep it specific to
Right.
Saratoga.
I
And
agree.
Leave it at that. I mean, there's other signs we can approach.
As
that
being a baseball
advertisement.
coach, a football
Yeah,
coach. a
I
bicycle
agree
coach,
with
I mean,
Roger. Keep it
Yeah.
simple.
Can always expand it.
No, it's,
Right, well, you can have a special variance or exemption on that could be approved.
Why-
but
why don't
make
we
it too
start it out?
complicated.
let's start it out as 501c3s within the town of Saratoga, and if everything works out smooth, then maybe we open it up a
Well,
little.
this is essentially, if they fit all these criteria, they're approved already, correct?
Yeah.
Why don't we have a spot on there for the ability to come in front of the board if it is a situation like that? It's just outside.
Well, it's a policy, so there's always gonna be somebody who just wants an exception to the policy, so.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean we have to approve it. either.
That's right.
So, but that gives the ability for that to happen, for Roger to come in
Okay.
and say his group is doing something. Go ahead, Roger.
So let's reference the 501c3. That's a nonprofit organization, correct?
I would
Okay,
think
so
so.
some organizations don't have a lot of money to work with. And you wanna charge $20, and if you got 10 events a year, that's $200. Is that correct? Right?
They're on for a week, that'd be what it would be.
They don't have any money.
I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, but You know, that town was, that sign was, part of it was purchased with public
Right,
taxpayer
with
dollars.
taxpayer dollars.
And the rest of
501s
it-
are not
the rest-
taxpayer.
The rest of it come from,
501s don't pay taxes.
No, but I'm a taxpayer.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm
I mean, we're not trying to muddy it up and complicate it.
No,
We're just saying-
And I don't want to do that either, because it's just we're gonna have churches who have their own signs coming in and saying, we got fish fries going on, you know, and they're 501. So we gotta do something, we know that, but we gotta get some perimeters. Yes, ma'am.
My thoughts,
Sure.
and that's all it is my thoughts.
Who else is in there?
If they want something advertised, generally it is an entertainment of some kind. It is a benefit to the town. I don't think there should be a charge for one thing.
I'm not convinced, to be honest, that that charge is gonna get passed legal as appropriated.
We've already been advised by our legal team that we shouldn't charge for it anyway.
I don't think it should be, and because
Almost
what
three.
this came about because of Wakely, that's bringing people into Saratoga to see something there, and that's a good thing. And I think of the American Legion who does the spaghetti and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
Well,
that's a
right.
good
We
thing
gotta get in there
too.
and fish fry at the
Bring them in
church.
there, and it's
We
a
really
wonderful
care.
thing,
Yep.
you know, and that's helping out, the businesses here. I don't think there should be a charge for something that's gonna literally
Okay.
take 10 minutes. Sorry, you can show me,
Well-
Paulette. I will do my best to do this,
That-
but
Okay. Thank you. Okay, yeah.
I
Oh,
have
I'm
something
sorry,
to say-
Roger.
I have
just a sec.
I have something to say, but I want Roger to talk.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
the request, that discussion, thank you for that input. You know, I mentioned the EMS, I mentioned the ATV club, you know,
Mhm.
other
Sure.
benefits. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
the requests come from Historic Point Bass, but the discussion was conducted for the other well-being of the community here. So,
Yeah.
and the other part of the discussion that night, and it was very productive, thank you, was if there needs to be a signage upgrade, computer upgrade, you know, to make it simpler so that it can be programmed in a more reasonable timeframe, you know, let's take a look at that.
Well, we have the exact same sign as Pittsville.
It's not,
Exactly.
it's not so much the equipment, it's the specific software that has to go with that sign that's cumbersome to deal with.
what, they have the ability to do it online from any computer. Right now, we can only do it on one computer.
Right.
Old, ancient,
Not anymore.
oh, what?
No, we got Chase.
Chases.
Chase gave up his
Well-
computer.
Oh, but still, it's only a matter of one more year and it's old
Right,
computer.
computers update pretty fast.
Yeah, but that's not, the point right now is, are we gonna do this? And then how are we gonna do this if we are?
Just from past discussions with possibly doing stuff with the sign, I don't know that the fee's going to it. I'm not sure I would support the fee anyways.
Okay,
I personally think that should come off. We're not advertising it for just anybody to put up there. It's only nonprofits. And I do think we should limit the area. I would be okay with adjacent communities, but if we want to just leave that as Saratoga,
I would say start with just Saratoga,
okay,
because adjacent is Adams County too. That's an adjacent, I mean, town or home.
is consensus take off the money?
Yes, I would like to strike prepayment as
Okay.
required and the next one with the rates.
Okay,
I would like to strike that sentence.
all right,
from this
got it?
LED sign policy.
Paulette, does it make any
You
difference?
guys got 5 more minutes.
We've got the, begins on Saturday and ends Friday. Now on that,
Sorry.
you can set a start and an end date, right?
Right,
Does it make any difference whether it's Saturday or,
probably not.
okay, because I mean, there's certain things, if they have it on a Saturday, you're probably gonna want to run it through Saturday. And you can set a start date. I don't know that we should have a specific, week begins here and ends here.
The argument was the emails coming in, I don't want to take up all her time with this, so if we get emails, she can read them one day out of the week and then set the sign to do what it's got to do.
Well, she can still do that because they've got to have that in there a week early. And she can set it all up and then not have it start until a certain
Okay.
date. Because you can set the date it starts on there.
Okay, so
So-
you want the week to begin a different day?
Just
How do you guys feel about that?
We might not even run it the week of, we might run it a week ahead of time,
Okay,
you know, just because we're advertising ahead of time, so somebody can
okay.
know about it ahead of time, so it wouldn't be necessarily the week of.
I think what we should do is just put, you know, each message will be listed a maximum 1 week and leave it at that. Don't put start.
or 7 days.
Emails are already swamped for her.
Yeah,
Handling
not, we
everything.
can't use her email.
Don't use an email at all. They fill out the form and they drop it off or mail it in or whatever, or fax it in, but it's not an option for an email.
I don't like that, and I
Because
told
why?
Paulette
We have a
why.
stamp that dates it.
Yeah, but what if somebody says, I turned it in, the clerk threw it away?
Well, or I emailed it and it ended up in your junk file.
Well, that's fine, but they emailed it. We have proof they emailed it. But it's gonna be a he said, she said. I like that concrete proof. I'm sorry.
I don't know why why is it so?
No matter how even if it comes in an email, we don't want them sending an attachment to it.
No,
Because
just,
we don't want to be
no.
opening up an attachment.
I just like, and then you always got that tracking. Well, I sent it in a week ago.
So you're gonna make them fill out the form anyways. So
Oh,
they're gonna send an email saying, I'm gonna send you something?
no, they're gonna send an email saying that I'd like to be, considered to go on the sign, and then Paulette will say, okay, come on in, and I am here at this time, and, you can bring it in.
Would they be able to do that with a phone call?
Sure.
'Cause I don't send.
Well,
Call it.
I guess that's just my opinion. You guys vote on it. I mean, I'm just saying that I like tracking. I am. a
I
big
like it,
tracker.
but well, we just had a big discussion about insurance and cybersecurity, and the attachments are a big thing. We definitely don't want anything coming in.
I
on
just
it.
don't think
Okay.
it.
You guys are the one,
I'd like,
Hold on.
I'd like to see a form being filled out.
well, I
Because
do
to me,
too.
that is,
I like both.
because all you need to do is a confirmation at the bottom where you call them. I received your notice. I just wanted to let you know I received your notice. And we will be able to, I looked it over and I don't have any questions. I'll be able to get it on the sign on this date and it'll end it on this date.
That's
So no
all.
matter what, they're gonna get confirmation.
You have a form somewhere
I made up.
Yeah, she did,
and it has contact information on it
Yep,
It does, yeah.
and a date
yep,
of when they filled the form out?
yep.
That'd be enough.
And we'll stamp it when it's received,
And then somebody's gonna answer and say that,
just like we do on permits or the driveway permits and stuff, or.
Well, that we always just mail back.
I know, but we have on the bottom, it was received in the
Oh, yeah.
office, it was notified to or to
Yeah.
the county here, so we can make those little lines of, we
okay.
contacted.
So how long are we gonna, how many times are they gonna be able to do this every year or every month or however? I think we gotta limit that.
Or don't worry about it unless it gets out of hand.
I say we visit if it gets out of hand.
Okay,
I don't think it's gonna get out of hand.
I don't either.
And I honestly would like to be, I don't wanna overburden Paulette, 'cause she's got enough to do already. I'd like that some of us be cross-trained where we can take that version off.
well, the problem is that it's in a locked area and the only people that have access are those two.
So maybe if I was cross-trained on that where I could change the sign, I could only do it when they're here.
Mhm.
Then I
But that
can-
still means Paulette's not in there messing with it at the time.
Right, Paulette's
Okay.
doing whatever else she has to do.
Okay,
So is this gonna be just for events though, correct?
Well,
That's what I
Explain
have.
what you're,
that's what I
depends on-
have.
yeah,
What else
honestly,
would
it
you want
depends
it
on
for?
what they,
Pardon me?
What else would you want it for?
Well, that's what I'm just saying, I mean, is it gonna be something up, is,
Happy anniversary, Mill
No,
Betty.
no, but I mean, could it be something like, I don't know, just their hours, for instance, if they wanted to put up their hours of when they're open.
Oh,
I say it's just for
No.
events.
Events, okay,
I
thank
see
you.
the events too.
So it's
Okay.
the spaghetti dinner, it's the event of.
Yeah, and what I would
at that,
say,
at that point,
keep
we
it
can
short and
say,
sweet, because
I
the,
see what you applied for, but we're not gonna put that on there and this is why.
yeah, that's why we have these rules.
Because they got some good events down there that,
Yeah.
to get that out there, yeah.
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 Okay,
the only thing, I do think we need to add on that there will be a maximum of 6 messages and town messages are priority.
Mhm.
6 messages per sign.
Go ahead.
Jay, so I would just suggest to the board that, why don't you put something down that you like and live with it for a while, because you'll find out it's not a problem, or it is a real big problem, and you might.
No matter what, when we pass something, it's gonna get passed, and then we're gonna
Right.
come to it 2
Right.
months later, this isn't working out, we gotta change that.
We have to revise it or-
But we gotta get something.
Yeah.
We did that
Yeah.
with our.
I just had my
employee
family pictures
handbook.
taken out there.
6 messages
Excellent.
per
Love to see
sign.
that. I did. It's on my Facebook page.
Town messages are a priority,
Town,
and,
okay,
yes.
all right. Anybody else got anything they want to add here?
I do wanted to say something. So doing my research on it, there's communities out there that won't even look at this. They won't even
Right.
listen to you guys asking to do it because they even said, we don't have a sign yet, but we're in the process of getting one and we already said nothing but town business.
This one.
Knowing Wakely, knowing what it means for this community anyways, I didn't have any problem at all with that. But then I also had to think about all these other communities or 501Cs that are out there that I didn't know. And now it's like, I can see why towns would say that or people wouldn't want that. But I think that there is a fine line where we can work with our community and bring people into our community to get word out there. We were always a big one about communication.
That's why
And anything to help them out, you know. I think we don't bend over backwards though. I say if we want to say, hey, 5 screens or 6 screens is our maximum, you can have it for 1 week. If we have 6 screens for town work, all 6 aren't available at this time frame. If you get 2 requests in, we have 5 and we only have 1 spot available for that week. Well, whoever came in first gets it, and sorry.
Okay.
So I think we need to have rules, but I think we do need to have it open for just Saratoga events. I don't want to get into the rat race or tunnel of, well, if you're an adjacent county, or I think the event should happen in our community.
Okay, I will revise that and put those couple additions on there and bring it back.
Roger, we need brat fries at the town hall.
We do our best to accommodate.
Just do it at your house, it's right around the corner then.
I was gonna say that too. I mean, if we, okay, Nakusa, the Boy Scout troop we can't put on the sign because, well, what if it was right here? Can you put on the sign then?
Well, when the Girl Scouts start selling cookies, that's a good way to know. I mean, there's I can see a lot of great things that could be done with it. So,
And when technology gets better and all you have to do is, okay, it's on the sign, you know,
That-
then maybe
That
things can
online
change,
thing
but
would be
Oh,
hands down. I could do it from my house.
okay. All right, we're done with the sign. I'll bring it back.
we're
next
bringing it
month.
back or are we
Well,
making a
We
motion
gotta
to
get a,
change?
I don't care. That's
Well,
up to you
You
guys.
wanna rewrite
We
it?
gotta send this through legally yet too, just to make sure. Or are you guys just good?
Well, I
the way it
think
is
we
and-
sent it through legal
We-
once already and they advised us not to, but we only always have to listen.
Well, actually, as I
the
said,
recommendation.
they said not to sell space on the sign because then you,
And I guess we specifically said here, we are not gonna sell.
We just struck that line.
yep. So I think we're okay, but if someone wants to make a motion, I'll make the changes. and Go from here. Otherwise, I would bring it back.
I'll make a motion to adopt the LED sign policy with the changes discussed today.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion by Josh and a second by Chase to adopt the LED sign policy with the additions events 501c3 within the town of Saratoga. 6 messages per sign, town messages take priority. And scratching the prepayment is required. The rates of $5 per day, $20 a week to be taken off. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. All right,
And Paulette, I would like to
get on.
learn how to,
You tell me when you want to come in, because I'm ready to show you.
all right, and
I will definitely I'd take that off your hands.
the policy goes in effect tomorrow, and I will print up the policy and have it ready for typing at the next meeting. All right, let's move on. Thank you for coming, everybody.
We know the town business isn't easy, and we appreciate your time and your consideration, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Drive safe.
Okay, Wisconsin Rapids Public Schools Safety Patrol request for donation. Every year we get a request for donation from the Wisconsin Rapids Public Schools. And Dan Ford set up an account when he was here. All his wages when he was gone in the winter went into an account. And this was a number one priority for Dan, and I did talk to him, and he would like us to give them the $200.
Was it 200? I thought it was 150.
200 as well.
That's what we've been doing this 200.
So I need a motion
I'll make a
and,
motion to donate $200 of the Dan Forbes account or
yep, you can call it that.
Wisconsin, or to the Wisconsin Rapids School Safety Patrol.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Chase and a second by Josh to donate $200 out of the Dan Forbes account to Wisconsin Rapids Public School Safety Patrol. And Daniel, he said to use the money for like birthdays, not birthdays, I'm sorry, funerals, weddings, that type of thing, at our discretion. But I always like to run it by him just to get,
I don't think we've ever sent a wedding one out.
I don't think we've had anybody. get-
we're all too old to get married again. All right.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. We got a
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Okay, motion passes. Adams Columbia Electric Cooperative Permit Application, individual permits or blanket permits. Every year we get this notice from Adams Columbia Electrical Co-op. They want to just take out a blanket permit and do whatever work they want to do for their utilities. Or they can send in individual permits, excuse me. And I always ask them to send individual permits, but we can do whatever you guys want.
Continue with the individual.
I think.
Yeah, I don't like a blanket permit.
Me neither.
Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to, require Adams Columbia Electric Cooperative to, continue with our permit application and not issue them an annual blanket.
Okay, I have a motion by Josh. Do I have a second?
I'll second it once Paulette's done writing it, because he's long-winded.
Okay, I have a motion by Josh and a second by Brian to continue to have Adams Columbia fill individual permits. I was a little shorter, but
That's the figure we need to do.
all those in favor. Oh, did I say that right?
No.
Okay. All those
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Okay, operator license request. I asked Paulette to put this on here because she was kind of on the fence, so I'm gonna let her take over.
Yep, so when I do the operator license request, I run it through Department of Justice background check. That's what was recommended at Towns Association training. And when it came up for this individual, it came up clean. However, on their application, one of the questions it asks is, have you ever been convicted of a felony? It said yes, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't add up. So then I went to CCAP and pulled it up. And wouldn't you know, there was a child neglect charge there. So what, and that was 2016. There were no other, some people are habitual, you have lots of charges. This was short and sweet. So that is grounds where we could either, it's up to the town whether we give that license or if we deny it, we potentially could deny it. If we would deny it, they have the chance to show that they've rehabilitated themselves. But like I said, there was the one that was 2016 and it just kind of caught me off guard because I assumed everything would have been on Department of Justice, but at the fine print at the bottom, it said that not everything is reported from the local level.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
And this was a private, this didn't happen in a public place? Could you tell that?
I have no, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
You just sign right on there. Sign and print.
okay. Is there any discussion or,
This is in
So do we need to
2015.
make a motion?
It
To
just let
accept
me, yeah, if you guys want to accept it, or if you
I'll
want
make a
to.
motion to accept the operating license.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Brian and a second by Josh to accept this operator's license request. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Yeah, there you have it.
Seconded it?
Josh.
Yes.
I see no problem, it's 9 years ago.
Okay. But it just,
Yep,
yeah,
nope,
when
nope,
it's
you're better
iffy, I
off,
guess,
yeah.
then nobody can.
Thanks.
Hey,
Thanks for checking.
Never have a question.
Just act.
Come.
The only
Oh my
dumb
goodness.
question is the one not asked.
That's a good,
I was taught that when I was
that's
so young.
very, very
Well,
good.
Brian's had a
You have the
couple.
bills to sign?
All right, let's look at the bills. What do you think about paying them or not? Oh my
That's a
God.
lot of settlement there.
We have to pay that check number 481.
481.
Already.
Oh,
All the fire and ambulance.
Rather pay that one than check number 19246.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay that one than 3162.
I'm just glad it ain't out of my personal account.
Poor Josh.
Oh my
As long as mine
God.
gets approved, that's all.
$1,123,725
Why is it so many
to the treasurer, and that's for taxes. Yowzer. We get what, 25,000?
What is Compass Minerals? Is that our salt?
Salt, stuff, I believe.
You see the invoice description?
Card member services, that's a
Yeah.
credit card?
Salt materials?
What for?
Because that's how we buy supplies, if
I
we
take back that.
buy
Say it
something
loud.
from a store, office.
So I
Or the
wanna
guys.
say that one.
EMS.
it-
Why is there salt?
There's, that one I think
Yes.
EMS had a computer on. I'd have to pull the exact bill, but they had
Oh,
a
yeah.
computer and printer.
Okay.
And I wanna say
4
Public
days
Works
later.
had that torch that was purchased.
You put
Yeah.
a lot of-
And those are all under their budgets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I break it down on
Okay.
the actual check itself
Yeah.
to go into the right category, but
Okay, great.
I'll make a motion to pay bills.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Jason, a second by Josh, and I'm to pay bills. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Okay, pay the bills. Oh, my goodness, gracious.
Items for
Yeah, it hurts.
$5 million in bills.
Hey,
That's gotta be the biggest month of the year, huh? That
Oh,
we
yeah.
pay?
When we have to pay back our, yeah.
Because you take in the money for taxes, you
Yep.
gotta give it back to the county, huh? Okay, items for future agendas. Okay, I'm bringing
Oh,
back these two,
that's right.
the policy.
Oh, we did skip over one item here, I don't think we discussed it.
I can't get into it.
The Keller update, we didn't,
I did,
oh, you did.
right when we had people.
There's nothing changed, nothing changed. really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Those have gotta be better.
So
Perfect.
I'll bring back the sign ordinance and then the, electronic signs policy.
Yeah.
So those two things will be on there. You got that, Paula?
the sign ordinance and
The
Keller.
LED sign?
Oh, yeah. No, you guys approved that.
We did, but I gotta bring it back for signing.
For signatures.
Okay.
if we, don't get a fine payment, by the fifth, does that need to come back at town board? or
No.
Just remove
If,
it?
we're done. It's going over to Brandon. Does everybody agree with that?
That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm glad you brought it up.
Calendar for next week.
Yes. we'll call-
Anything else on the future? Keller is coming in, to the plan commission on the 12th and the town board in April, and the April 15th is the annual meeting.
15th, all right.
Yeah.
Good, I can make it.
You're not going to?
I will, should.
April
The
15th.
next week, I gotta be down
Is it annual
all
meeting?
week with the
Yes.
road.
And that is that's our monthly meeting.
And that, we will make that a monthly meeting. It's a Tuesday night. Is that gonna be okay for you, Brian? I know you got,
Tuesday on what date?
April 15th. You
Yes.
gotta be sworn in. Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
Maybe,
And what time
hopefully.
is that gonna be?
Nobody's running against you. Nobody registered.
6:00.
What if nobody votes for him then?
He's just,
What if, yeah, what if I don't get one?
oh,
vote?
come on, you guys. One time. Okay, date for next meeting, please.
Population you're in.
19th,
19th?
is that?
Yeah.
7 plus 12, 19.
19th, yes.
March
it was
12th,
19th.
March
March
19th.
19th.
Okay, that's my brother's birthday. Happy early birthday. Okay, And now we're gonna do our audit,
Can I go to the bathroom?
All right.
and you may be excused.
Do you mind if we stop this?
We,
You want-
excused.
You want this recorded?
I heard that.
we can,
So
we're
I just
gonna
asked to
shut
go to
off
the
the
bathroom.
camera because we're gonna audit the books and it takes a long time.
And if anyone ever wants to look at the books, you are more than welcome to come in and look at it.
Please do.
Just to let them know.
Thank you and have a good night.
So I'm closing this.